Okay, we're going to look at the question 17 from the recent mock exam that you just sat, and this is solving a quadratic equation by factorising, where we just have x squared. Okay, so there's the question. Factorise x squared minus 5x minus 36, and hence solve x squared minus 5x minus 36 equals 0. So the first thing we do, if I just write down the equation again, so I'm going to write down the whole equation. Now factorising means putting this into brackets, like so. Now because we've got x squared, the first part of the brackets has to be x, because this bracket multiplied by this bracket must equal x squared minus 5x minus 36. So the x times the x gives us the x squared. Now all we have to do is find two numbers that go in these brackets. Now these two numbers, their product, when you multiply them, equals minus 36. And their sum, when you add them, equals minus 5. Now we can do a little diagram over here to help us work this out. So if we're trying to work out two numbers, where if we multiply them, we're going to get minus 36. And if we add them, we're going to get minus 5. So the easiest way to do this is think of all the pairs of numbers that multiply to equal 36. We can deal with the signs later. So, and then which pair of numbers can I make a 5? Well, there's 1 times 36. I can't make a 5 with 1 and 36, so that's gone. 2 times 18. No, I can't make 5 with that. And what I mean by make 5, if I add them, I'm going to get 20. If I take it away, I'm going to get 16. That's all I can get is 20 and 16, or minus 20 minus 16, that type of thing. So then we try 3 12s. No, can't make 5 with that. Does 4 times something? Yeah, 4 9s. Now I can make 5 with 4 and 9 by doing 9 take away 4. I can get 5. Right, but I want minus 36, and I want when I multiply, and minus 5 when I add them. Also, one of them's got to be minus and one of them's got to be plus if I'm going to multiply those two to get minus 36. Now which one is minus and which one is plus? Well, if I'm going to add them and get minus 5, well, the minus has to be 9 and the plus has to be 4. Because when I add minus 9 to plus 4, I get minus 5. When I multiply them, I get minus 36. So those are my two numbers. Now it didn't matter which brackets you put them in. I could have put it the other way around. I could have put plus 4 there and minus 9 there. It wouldn't matter because I've got the same number of x's in each bracket. So the next step is the either or step. So we say either x minus 9 equals 0 or x plus 4 equals 0. Now the reason we can say this is because we got this bracket, x minus 9, multiplied by this bracket, x plus 4, equals 0. Well, something times something equals 0. One of them has to be 0, or they're both 0. So that's why we're allowed to say it. So whenever you're solving a quadratic, always make it equal to 0 so you can say this step after factorising. If you had a number there, you couldn't really say anything. So you always have to make it equal 0 when solving these quadratic equations. So what we have now are two little linear equations to solve to find x. Well, if x minus 9 is 0, to get rid of my minus 9, I add 9 to both sides. And then I have x equals 9. Or, take away 4 from both sides to get rid of plus 4, x equals minus 4. And we always have two answers when we're solving a quadratic equation, because basically what we've just found out, if I did a quick sketch of this curve, this is a rough sketch, okay? So it'd be something like this. Then what we found out is there's minus 4 and there's 9. We have found out the two places that curve crosses the x-axis. Those are the two x values. So a quadratic expression like this gives us a curve if we drew it on an x and y axes. Okay, and the other little reminder, we've got a little 2 by our x, so we've got x squared, so it reminds us we can have two answers at the end. And that's how you solve a quadratic equation by factorising. Thank you very much.